So how does bridging the digital divide gap lead to like fairer economic access? It's pretty simple actually. Um, Again, like never before in history could someone study at Stanford from a country like Rwanda in Africa, or like a middle of nowhere town in like Odisha. So you have courses from like Stanford and Harvard, and usually if you want to go there and study, this is $250,000 sometimes. Your education like bills. It's impossible. Some entire villages in India, if you sell everything in that village, you're not going to get this kind of money to educate someone. So, for these people, like, where I mean, I think a lot of these education institutions were also like super gated because of their uh, pricey access. It's like it's not like rich people have smarter kids. It's just like they're the only ones who can access these kind of universities, and the internet kind of breaks that. So now you have courses from like Stanford, EDUX or whatever, but you have Stanford, Harvard, like pretty much Carnegie Mellon, all of the top so-called university or top rated. I don't believe in the university ratings, but let's say the top rated universities. You can access courses for like free or next to free, no matter where you are. So all along, like, you also know, like Indians as a whole, like, we're a populated country, but we don't have an equal say in the world. So for example, let's say you have the United Nations and we have to vote on a particular topic, right? Now the population of Estonia is 1 million, and the population of India is more than 1300 million, right? And they get one vote and we get one vote. So equality also is needed in representation. Like if I have an office with like one Indian, one Sri Lankan, one Korean, one Japanese, one Estonian, one British, it's not really fair kind of representation, because 1 out of 6 kind of people on this planet are Indians, or like 1 out of 6 people on this planet are Chinese. So like the representation, if it's by proportions, it's a lot different. Now, second thing what I realized is like accessing. Like I remember that a time where I was making websites in India for an Israeli guy who was hired by an American. So the American guy gave him $3,000 to make a website. This guy used to give me $300 to make a website. My web developer who didn't speak in English, I used to get a website made from him for $120, right? And you see, like, the actual knowledge was with the guy who made 120, right? And the thing is, he just couldn't access these markets by himself back in the day. Now, things are changed. He just lists himself on Freelancer. The same guy doesn't need middlemen or brokers like me or that Israeli guy or whatever, and the American could directly like reach out to him and pay him like by the hour for his talent, right? So for the same job in US, you kind of get paid $3,000 sometimes, and the same job in like Bangladesh, you would get like $120. This is what the internet would also like kind of bridge the gap in. Now you hire people purely based on their talent. It's not to do with like, whether they come from your country or not or whatever. Like there are these many rules in like developed countries for like protecting their labor. Like for example, like I remember when I got my job in the European Union, one of the criterias first was that the company had to advertise in its own country. Then it had to advertise in all of Europe. And if they couldn't find a candidate, then they advertise it to the rest of the world. And that's when I kind of competed with the rest of the world and got my job there. But all of this like protection and protecting economy stuff is just not gonna fly anymore. Like you will have to give the best job to the best person, and this person will have to be paid in a fair way regardless of their country or currency or whatever. And I think the internet's a beautiful thing for that. Like imagine if the next kind of Facebook or like Google comes from some village in Namibia or like some village in like Kashmir. That would be fantastic. And I don't think it's that far-fetched or impossible.